turbulence in the relationship between Canada and the U.S. continues to drive down travel to the U.S.
The U.S. was once the world's top travel destination, but now airlines are fleeing in record numbers.
When it comes for vacation, I think there's other places I would rather go.
In just the last year, 6 major carriers have silently pulled out, leaving airports emptier than ever. What's driving this exodus? And what does it mean for the future of American tourism? Let's break it down. Summer 2025 was supposed to mark a tourism rebound for the United States. Instead, international arrivals have dropped by over 35%, the steepest decline in decades. Major airlines are quietly canceling routes, airports are seeing record low traffic, and travelers are choosing destinations like Canada, Japan, and South Korea over the US. But why? Today, we'll examine the 6 biggest airlines abandoning the US, the real reasons behind their exits, and what this could mean for travelers in the years ahead. Buckle up and let's dive in. The US is facing a severe downturn in tourism, which is not just a minor setback, but a full-blown economic crisis. Imagine the typical bustling airports during peak travel times. Now they're eerily quiet. The screens are plagued with flight cancellations, and the once-long security queues are now desolate. The reality is stark. International visitors to the US have decreased by a staggering 35%, the most significant drop in more than 20 years. This is not a simple dip, it's a dire situation. The US Travel Association reveals that the annual revenue loss from this decline exceeds $120 billion. This translates into hotels with vacant rooms, empty dining establishments, and supply chains that have come to a standstill. For cities heavily reliant on tourism, like Orlando and Las Vegas, the impact is more than just a tough time. It's a threat to their very existence. In the last year alone, the industry has lost a whopping 300,000 jobs, affecting everyone from baggage handlers to tour guides, leaving them all in a state of uncertainty. But this tourism collapse isn't just about statistics. It's written in the abrupt departure of 6 major airlines that once considered America a cornerstone of their global operations. These aren't small regional carriers folding under pressure. We're talking about flagship airlines, industry titans, making a quiet but devastating calculation. The United States is no longer worth the trouble. 1. Play Airlines, Iceland. The most surprising exit was by Iceland's budget favorite, Play Airlines, which had initially offered a tempting deal of $99 flights across the Atlantic to the US. In March 2025, all their US routes suddenly disappeared from their system without any warning, leaving no press statement or goodbye note. This dramatic move caused a huge 60% drop in travelers from the Nordic region to the US. The reason behind this? A combination of tough visa issues, unexpected healthcare costs, and a shifting perception that America isn't the dream destination it once was, but more like a risky bet. A tour operator from Reykjavik summed it up by saying, "I used to arrange hundreds of trips to New York. Now, I wouldn't even suggest it." This situation makes us think about the future of US tourism, especially when even cost-conscious airlines like Play find the US market too challenging and unfriendly to operate in. 2. Air Canada and WestJet, Canada. For decades, Canadians have considered Florida and California to be their go-to vacation spots, practically like having a second home. However, the landscape has changed. In 2025, the 2 biggest airlines in Canada decided to cut down on US flights by a significant 40%. The decision was driven by concerns over safety, unpredictable costs, and a notable shift in cultural preferences. Interestingly, a survey revealed that nearly 70% of Canadians over 50 years of age now perceive the US as an unsafe place to visit. As a result, many families are choosing to stay closer to home, opting for vacations in places like British Columbia rather than the usual destinations like Orlando or Los Angeles. One mother from Ottawa put it simply, "Why deal with the craziness in Orlando when we can enjoy quieter and more affordable resorts in Quebec?" This shift in tourist behavior has had a clear economic impact. with the US losing out on approximately $3.2 billion in cross-border tourism dollars from Canada alone. When a country like Canada, which is so closely connected to the US, both geographically and historically, starts to reduce travel to the States, it's a sign that other nations might also be reconsidering their vacation choices. 3. Lufthansa, Germany. Lufthansa didn't only reduce flights to the US, it actually ended a piece of history. Flights between Frankfurt and Chicago, which have been running since the 1960s, have been cancelled. So has the Frankfurt-Miami route. Now, the airline is focusing more on Asia, giving flights to Tokyo and Delhi top priority and the best staff. An internal memo that was accidentally made public talked about the unpredictable security situations, airport problems, and unhappy passengers as reasons for this change. One pilot even said that crews now really don't like spending time in the US during layovers because it's so stressful and costly and feels more like a place where you get checked by security than a place to visit. Since travel from Europe to Asia has gone up by 24%, it seems like Lufthansa's decision is about more than just their business. 4. Air France-KLM, France, Netherlands. Air France has decided to cut down on their flights to the US. And it's not just about reducing the number of planes in the air. They've actually gone ahead and removed some of their most well-known routes, such as Paris to New York and Amsterdam to Miami, without making a big deal out of it. It's all because not enough people are flying on these planes. The number of seats filled, called the load factor, is often less than 70%. And in the airline world, that's not good news. An experienced Air France captain mentioned that flying to the US used to be a big deal, something that everyone looked up to. Now, it's turned into a stressful experience due to factors like worries about protests, safety concerns, and tough immigration processes. On the flip side, their Asian routes are booming. Flights to cities like Tokyo and Seoul are often fully booked, showing that the demand is clearly there. This shift in focus to Asia is interesting because France and the US have a long-standing friendship. But it seems that even the French are preferring to take the longer 14-hour flight to Asia rather than the shorter 8-hour trip to New York. 5. Jetstar, Australia. Australia's Jetstar has taken a drastic step and eliminated its US routes, which used to be bustling with surfers and travelers seeking adventure. The Sydney-Los Angeles route in particular has been cancelled. The company's CEO has cited a few main reasons for this decision. Firstly, there has been a significant increase in US landing fees, which are now 38% higher. Secondly, there seems to be a sense of hostility towards visa applicants. Lastly, the CEO mentioned that travelers often feel like they are being treated poorly at immigration, which can be quite off-putting. Additionally, it appears that American policies have affected even the retirement crowd. Retirees, who used to be loyal visitors to the US, are now expressing their dissatisfaction with the country. They are unhappy with hidden medical costs and the lack of support for seniors. This negative view has led to a drop of 52% in Australian tourists arriving in the US. It seems that when even the laid-back Aussies, known for their love of travel, start avoiding a destination, it's a clear sign that there are underlying issues that need to be addressed. 6. JetBlue, US. Even American Airlines seem to be leaving the country. JetBlue has decided to make really big cuts in 2025 that will cancel service to 15 cities, including Syracuse, Fresno, and Kansas City. This will leave some small-town travelers without air service. The reasons for this are that the cost of fuel is going up and up. There aren't enough staff to run the airlines, and airports are a mess. A pilot who lost his job because of this said, "I used to go to places where a plane landing was a big deal. Now, those towns are like nobody cares anymore." It's worrying that while airlines from other countries are doing well overseas, US airlines are having a hard time even keeping their flights going inside the country. These 6 airlines leaving really highlight a bigger problem in the way we travel in America. It's not just a simple business choice for them. It's like a big, flashing warning sign that there's something seriously wrong with our whole travel setup here. Let's talk about the reasons behind this, because there are four main issues that are pushing airlines away. First, we're basically killing ourselves with fees. Since 2022, airport costs have gone up by 38%. And then you've got all these sneaky extra charges that pop up, like having to pay $60 just to park at the airport or resort fees that you didn't know about until you get there. It's like we're tricking people into spending more than they planned for their vacation. Look at Tokyo. They actually made their airport fees cheaper to get more airlines to come. Then there's the whole visa situation, which is a huge headache. It's so bad that a lot of people have to hire someone to help them get through it, like a guide through a jungle of paperwork. You'd think it's like that everywhere, but Canada has a way easier system that lets most people get approved for a visa in just 2 days. Safety is another big deal. More and more travelers are buying insurance to protect themselves against things like riots or other problems while they're here. Japan is like the opposite. It's super safe, and their airports are amazing too. Why would people want to take a risk and come to the US? The results of all this are pretty terrible. We're looking at losing $28 billion from tourism this year. That's a lot of money, and small airports are basically turning into empty buildings. What's even scarier for airline big shots is that this isn't only about how many people are coming to visit. It's about how easy it is to do business here, learn from each other, and keep countries friendly. If we don't fix this soon, we might not be able to get back to where we used to be. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Your support means the world to us. And before you go, check out the video on your screen right now. I'm sure you'll love it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.